Losing is what got us here. None of us feel good about it. This is, where we are. You are what your record is. You are what has happened, recently. But things can change quickly. Once we.
Tony, we made
Yes,
it.
we did.
Made it. We made it,
Got,
ladies and
got
gentlemen.
past the technical difficulties, and we here.
Yeah, no doubt about that. We are here to do this Brooklyn Nets Losers
Nots.
Lounge, the Knots, the Brooklyn Knots Losers Lounge. You know what I mean? Yeah, we might as well start right off top. Well, actually, just your thoughts on, I know we just did it on a post game show, but any other thoughts you had that we didn't mention?
First, let me salute you on the cover work for this episode. It looked like somebody asked Mikhail who you want to play with, and he like these guys right here,
Right.
you know. So salute to you
Appreciate
on that.
appreciate that.
Oh man, just thoughts on the game in general, man. It was looking a little scary. You know what I mean? They was looking like they was motivated. Look, TNT had, the Battle of New York and then the Battle of LA. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it looked like they was trying to make a statement that we better than our record is, but you are what your record says you are,
Praise you,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Um, I mean, I don't know what anybody expects from Brooklyn, to be honest with you. Um, you know, they don't seem like they're a team that's really going anywhere right now. I mean, they
And
can battle a little bit, but they're not going. I mean, that the whole thing that with Kyrie and KD, it really ruined what they were building. It's crazy. They was building something nice for a while.
yeah, if you think about where they were before them,
Yeah,
I mean, you could really say they would had just got into that full rebuild recovery from the previous big three,
yep.
and they were heading in the right direction after some time from that, and they said, "Nah, we gonna go right back to where we were." Now, granted, their original big three were past their prime, if you will, and then getting Kyrie in his prime, getting KD, he would be his prime had he not gotten the injury. Oh man,
Well,
everything went downhill, and
would you do that all over again? No,
well, I
I mean,
think you always
obviously,
have to. You always have
yeah.
to. You
Okay,
always have to do it over.
yeah,
And if you got the same insight, hindsight, you know what I mean, then you probably do some things different, handle some things different. You know what I mean? I think everything shouldn't fall on Kyrie, KD, um, Harden. In a sense, I feel like there was some organization failures. There was some, you know what I mean. There was some management failures that contributed just as much as what happened with those players.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I think you have to do it every time. I mean, you have the chance to bring in two generational players, and knowing what you look back and say, okay, I'll do it again, like you said, but I'll make some changes here. I'll make some change. I'll do this different, do that different to try to make it work. Um, yeah, yeah. You know, you almost don't have a choice in that matter. Almost have a choice in that matter. You know what I'm saying? But it just goes to show, man, you make one mistake, it could set everything back years.
And Sim, to be honest, I would have said this recovery, this season aside, just looking at what they received, post Kyrie, post KD, post Harden, I would have said, hey, you know what? They're not in a bad spot, but the cookie just crumbled. I guess you know what I mean. Like
Yeah,
it, it seemed to be a good fit all around with that roster.
yeah. I mean, it seems like they have good young players, and they have something to build with. I mean, but Nets fans don't seem excited at all about the possibilities of this team. Most Nets fans that we're looking at, they don't seem excited at all about this team. On the other hand, Knicks fans should be very excited about the Knicks. You know what I mean? With the way the Knicks is trending, the way we're building, the way we're growing. The Knicks should be excited about this team. I only have one fear, and then we'll get into everything. My only fear about with this team right now is that, and we've already seen it. We've went from one of the youngest teams to the league. Now we're probably in the middle, and based on, I mean, we could go to one of the older teams in the league. You know what I'm saying? You
I
know,
don't think I don't think we'll get there though. I don't think we'll get there, Sim. I feel like because if you look at what they're doing and who they're bringing in, it's
mhm,
it's 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 post prime. I mean, it's pre prime or in prime.
okay,
You know what I mean? So I feel like even with that, once they're finished, the what they're gonna have to do is start to have they're gonna have to bring in some young guys on the tail end of the bench where they could kind of develop slowly. Um, they're gonna have to mix some young guys in there. Find
they got
find
to,
one here or there.
they got
You know what
to.
I mean?
You
But
got to figure out how to make it sustainable,
can't make mistakes. That's where it's gonna get tricky.
right?
You know what I mean? You can't make mistakes because those you're not gonna have the same amount of opportunities
Right,
with those young guys. I'm saying.
right. Nah, right, for real. I mean, you got to figure out. The Knicks got to figure out how to make it sustainable. You know what I'm saying? So that I just, all right, we had this run that we're good. Um, we tried to make it run for a championship. Now we got to rebuild it. Like, how do we sustain this thing 10, 15 years?
And that's not easy. And,
No.
and some of the best teams to do it, I'll name two of them, and one of them didn't win the championship. One of them did. Utah Jazz, San Antonio Spurs.
Right. Yep.
Those are the only two teams that I could think of who had that longevity of continuous, I'll say playoff contentions,
Mm,
playoff runs, you know what I mean? Championship contention here and there, but never seemed to have fallen off, never seemed to had to do a real hard rebuild
right.
until now.
Until I mean, the Knicks did for a while. I mean, they had what, 15 straight years in the playoffs, right? I mean, they did for a little while, and that's the thing. I would like for them to be able to rebuild that. You know what I'm saying? Rebuild that type of longevity. But let's get to it, man. Knots. And how perfect that we begin with Knots, the Brooklyn Knots, ladies and gentlemen. Said this team has a loser mentality.
He left the door wide open.
He left
And
it open.
like I said, so perfect with the name. My response. Funny you should say that. You know, welcome to the Losers Lounge.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Do you think I don't think they have a loser. Losing games doesn't necessarily mean a losing mentality. You know what
I
I'm saying?
agree.
Do you think this team has a loser's mentality? The Nets.
Um, overall, individually, no. individual players, no. But like I said earlier on your show, they've been losing games down the stretch for quite some time now. So that
Right.
starts to seep into your head. You know what I mean? If it's a close game and it's the fourth quarter and the team and you was up and the team start making a run,
Mhm.
it's human nature for
Start.
some of those thoughts to come into your head. How are we gonna lose this one? You know what I
Right.
mean? Or this and that. So I think that I wouldn't consider it a loser's mentality, but in the circumstances that they're in, yeah, they're gonna start thinking about how to lose, how not to lose instead of how to win.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that, but that's also the sign of a young team that's growing. Like that's what young teams do. They got to figure out how to win. You know what I'm saying? And in order to figure out how to win, you got to lose sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You lose games. Then you figure out what are we doing wrong? How do we get better at certain things? And then you finally become a better basketball team.
This
You know?
this team was there a couple years ago where majority of our losses were within 5 points or something like that. A lot of our losses were blown leads in the fourth quarter. Like we were there before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you can take from it and say, all right, yep, we're losing leads in the fourth quarter, but we had a lead in the fourth quarter. We just got to figure out how to keep the lead in the fourth quarter. I'm saying it's a lot that you can learn from it. Really is. Player said it's becoming embarrassing. We need to make changes ASP. ASAP. I mean, what changes are they gonna make?
And that's the tough part because what I think this team wants to do is at least stay competitive, right?
Right.
Stay within the play-in hunt and maybe a push at the six. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Avoiding the play-in completely, and it's tough to
yeah,
choose a full rebuild and start selling off assets
right,
when you believe your team can compete.
right. I mean, right now they are after tonight's loss, they're one game out of the 10th seed. Right. So they're one game out of the play-in. Atlanta, who knows what's gonna happen? Atlanta might get worse after the trade deadline, right? Chicago, possibly, if they decide to blow it up, could get worse after the trade deadline. You know what I'm saying? So you might have that chance to slide in and now, and you're doing it with young players, a young team. I don't know, where they rank in the league as far as how young they are.
And Houston owns their pick this year,
Oh, yeah.
unprotected.
Yes, Houston owns it.
So it's like you can't even transition into the tanking. You know what I
Right.
mean? They have some picks, but they're not their own. So
Sheesh.
they don't want to
That's
that's
tough.
gonna, you know what I mean? Like you let me ask you this. If you if
Actually,
you're if
actually,
you're a
you're
front
not as
office,
young as you think.
do you even care? Like do you look at it like it's not my pick anymore? I don't own it. I don't care where it ends up being, or are you? I'm determined not to give them, you know what I mean, a good pick.
Yeah, I think my thinking would be, it don't matter to me where it is. Let me just do what's best for the team because I'm gonna lose it anyway. Yeah, people are gonna say, "Oh,
This
you
guy,
know,
this
this
yep.
guy, that guy, whatever." They're gonna say all of that. I could give him a second round pick, and if it becomes Jalen Brunson, they're gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, it's water under the bridge. I'm just like, I'm gonna do
I
what's
agree with you. I don't know if front offices think like that.
they might not.
Especially now, if it's a new front office that comes in and they didn't make that, then I think they have that philosophy. You know what I mean? Like you're saying. And I agree with you. I think that's how it should be. But when you're the front office that made this move and it crumbled, and then now you trying to save a little bit of face. You know what I mean? Like you trying to make that pick as mid as possible.
Yeah, I mean, you might. I could see that happening. You
It's
know what I'm saying?
sad though. It's sad
I
because
mean, the thing is, the thinking was that they were gonna have KD, Kyrie, and James Harden, right? And that they wouldn't be worried about this pick. They'd be competing for championships. That was the thinking.
yeah, but you got to keep that same energy in the current situation, and I don't believe. I think that's why they are. That's why they haven't made a trade yet. Let's say that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, because you know they have players of value for other teams, and they have enough assets to make a splash for an available guy as well. But what direction do are they gonna do?
That's
Like they
yeah,
might make the wrong move
yeah,
just to try to make a big move.
right. At what point JP says Sean Marks has to go? We need a GM with a better direction and an active one. At what point does Sean Marks get alleviated of his duties?
Mm. Well, isn't the owner trying to sell? I
Uh,
believe the owner's trying to sell. If that's
they
the
always
case,
sold, don't they?
they already sold.
No, I mean they always seem to be getting sold.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, yes. Well, what I was gonna say is, it probably he'll probably be there until the team is sold, and then that new owner will make
Right.
clean house. It's hard to if you're selling the team, it's hard to fire a guy and then um find somebody willing to take the job, knowing that you might not be the owner next week, and then I might not even be in this position. You know what I mean? He might still want his guy,
They should just
So
sell him to James Dolan.
James Dolan will make the NOTS the G League affiliate team.
Exactly. Sell him to the Knicks, make him the G League affiliate. Yo, that joke would be hilarious. That'd be crazy. I don't know. When I looking at the Nets, okay, here's one thing. All
Oh
right, so
wait, my bad, son. I
yeah,
got a better one. Sell a team to James Dolan and then trade Mikal Bridges.
the Knicks. Exactly. James Dolan buy the Nets, trade Mikal Bridges to the Knicks, put the two teams together, make a championship team, and then make the Nets, the Knots, the G League team. That's the perfect solution right there. You know what I'm saying? That's a perfect solution. Um, but here's the thing: this team really isn't as young as you might think. Mikal Bridges is like 27,
Yeah, most of them are like entering their prime.
right? I mean, obviously you got Ben Simmons. He ain't even playing. Right after next season, he'll probably won't be with the team. How old is Cam Johnson?
24, I think.
Okay, so that's not bad as far as age. I mean, 27 ain't bad either. But if you're not like Cam Johnson is 27,
Hmm.
right? So Cam Johnson is 27, Mikal Bridges is 27, Spencer Dinwiddie is got to be in his 30s, right?
I would think so.
Right. So I mean, yeah, Spencer Dinwiddie is 30. He'll be 31 in April. Dorian Finney-Smith, he's probably 30,
Hmm.
right? So, yeah, he's 30 years old. All right, Nick Claxton,
He's probably mid-20s.
He's 24, right? Mid-20s. Royce O'Neal,
He's got to be older.
he's got to be older. Right? He's 30 years old. And then you got okay, now you got some young guys. Dariq Whitehead, young. Dennis Smith Jr. is what?
20s,
24,
mid-20s.
something like that. 24 years old. Lonnie Walker's a young guy. Cam Thomas is, I think, a young guy. Let me see how old is Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas is 22. Devon
Yeah.
Sharp. I mean, everybody else is pretty much young. But the guys that are getting a lot of playing time are old. Not
Yeah.
old, but a little bit older.
What they need to do is trade the guys that's in their 30s to contenders, because I think the contenders will have interest in them,
Okay.
and try to bring back guys in their mid-20s. And I mean, this is the tricky part, because you need veterans, true, but they got veterans, you know what I mean? And so now your leaders are gonna have to be your vets as well. Like,
Right.
is no more Mikal potential. There's no more Cam Johnson potential. And honestly, Cam is the guy they probably need to move, but he hasn't played well enough to probably warrant the return that they would want. But the best guys that they can move right now to help that team are the guys 30 and 30 plus, and just try to get guys in the 23, 24, 25, up to 27, 28 range. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And then, all right, this year, their salary cap is 159.5 million. Next season, 40 million to Ben Simmons, 23.6 to Cam Johnson, 23.3 to Mikal Bridges. Dorian Finney-Smith is 14.9. After that, they don't really have much. Noah Clowney is 3.2. Dariq Whitehead is 3.1. Cam Thomas is 4 million. Davon Sharp is 4 million. And then they have nobody else on the book. So, they'd be able to. And then the season after that, 25-26, Ben Simmons is off the books. And, they got like $61.8 million in committed salary. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. You know what I mean? They not, I don't see them right now bringing in anybody or anyone really wanting to go and start something in Brooklyn. They've seen it happen, and right now they're probably like, you know, they're probably like, Brooklyn's not the popular team anymore.
You know who I get if I was them? I go get who's the backup point guard we've been talking about in Washington. Um he's a starter in Washington, but
Oh,
we would talk about
yeah,
him
yeah,
as a
yeah.
backup for us.
Right,
Um
right.
he,
What's his
he
name? I can't think of his name. I know who you're talking about though.
he'd be a good piece, a good young guy for them to put in, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, cuz they have scorers. A lot of the scorers still need people to get them the ball though. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You don't want their scorers to end up being self creators.
yeah, yeah. They do seem like right now kind of like directionless. Don't know where they're going.
I guarantee you, if it wasn't for Houston owning that pick, they would have picked the direction real fast.
I agree 100%. Yeah, they'd have picked that direction real quick. Yeah, you know, I don't know. Uh, Deuce said, "What does Vaughn have on management that he still has this job? Any chance you think Deuce gets fired soon? I mean, Deuce Vaughn gets fired."
I tell you what, man, the Nets fan base definitely does, and it's some of it is wishful thinking, and some of them feel like it's inevitable. Uh, Vaughn was an assistant, or he was an assistant that ended up being promoted, correct? Ended up like, or intern that ended
Yeah,
up
yeah,
being
yeah. Ended up being right.
promoted.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, I think they'll. I do think, but I don't think he'll be the coach next season. I don't think he'll be the coach next season.
Yeah. What about in season? Will they fire him this season? Do they
I
have a?
don't think.
I mean, do they
Yeah, I
have
don't think they will.
right? That's what I'm saying. Do they have a?
I don't,
I mean, they have a. They're not winning games. Um.
that fourth quarter thing does. You know what I mean? Like if that continues, then yeah, I could see them getting it done early.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like because I mean I remember when we was that team losing games in the fourth quarter, not knowing how to close out and secure wins, and yeah, that reflects directly on the coach. You know what I mean? I don't think that reflects as much on the players, and they're not going to give away the players. The coach always gets let go first. You
Right.
can't get rid of all the players. So
Right. Right. Yeah, and it's kind of tough for Vaughn too. Let me see. Was he the? Did he coach KD and Kyrie
I think he coached them to the exit. You know what I mean?
to the exit? Right.
You know what I mean? Like so it wasn't like he started the season as their coach.
Right.
He was in the midst of all that
In
turmoil.
the midst when Steve Nash was fired,
Hmm.
right? And then he took over, and then
Yeah, and the rest of those guys were gone before the midseason. You know what I
right.
mean?
Right. Yeah. Man,
So
I don't know. I mean, maybe they're 17-26 right now. Did the front office really have any more expectations from him? I guess they wanted to see. Maybe they want to see, can he get them to overachieve or something like that. You know what I mean?
I
When you
mean,
find your coach or have
even
a coach.
even if you look at them after the trade last year, they had that big head start, right? From having KD and Kyrie or whatever. And then they ended up being pretty much a 500 team
Hmm.
the rest of the way. Maybe even a little bit below, but I think the expectation was around 500.
Yeah.
To me, I
Well,
think that's what they were expecting.
okay. They could still get there. I
They
mean,
can,
they're 11
and they
games below 500.
and they
9
was
below
and they
500.
was there a month ago, right?
Right. Right. They could still get there. Now, Richard said, how is Vaughn your head coach? Dude has zero IQ, keeping uh, Dorian Finney-Smith in shooting cedar blocks, whatever, over a dude who can drop 50 is insane. Talk about Cam Thomas.
That's the sentiment of a lot of them.
A
I mean,
lot of 'em. A lot of
I
them was
mean,
like, "Yo, why is Cam on the bench? Why is" But also, what if he wants Cam to play a certain style of basketball?
microwave, and I think the problem with Cam is he's a scorer, but he doesn't do anything else well, right? So when you have a starting unit of a bunch of team guys, you know what I mean, guys that could score, but they could move the ball, they could create. He's kind of like a black hole in that starting unit. You
Right.
you I think the theory is let him come off the bench and be the microwave. You know what I mean? Let him come off the bench and do what he does best, and we worry about. We're not worried about that chemistry in the second unit as much as we are as in the first unit. You know what I mean? Like he's
But that
stopping the ball from moving and things
yeah, I
like
can
that.
understand that thinking, But I can also understand the thinking of a coach if you're trying to help a player develop by saying, if I just let you come in and be that guy in the second unit and do whatever it is that you want to do, you might not ever learn to play the style of basketball I'm helping you to learn how to play.
That's a good point. And a lot of the fans have said that. They said, I don't watch the Nets. You know what I mean? So what I know from Cam Thomas, microwave, get buckets. But I've read from Nets fans, Knots fans, um, that he's actually improved. Like they've said, oh, he did everything you wanted him to do coming into the season, and then you moved him to the bench. So that what you're saying might be that might be true, and then he still got moved to the bench. Maybe ultimately, I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. But they love Cam Thomas, but they not feeling Cam Johnson. Is the definition of pressure burst pipes. Like it's all kinds of they don't like Cam.
I don't know who's higher on their list of hate, Cam Johnson or Jacques Vaughn.
Yeah. I don't know,
I
man.
mean, he has all the attributes. He looks the part. I've always been a fan back even coming out of college. I think I know they question his IQ. I've heard that. I think they question his motor. They from
I
what
can
I
see
hear, he doesn't have that dog, that take over, you know what I mean? Like that fire.
right.
He's just happy to be there, I guess.
Yeah, I
Some
can see
players
that.
are like that.
I can see that in him. Yeah, like Cam Reddish was like that. Must be
Same,
the
same
yeah,
thing. Same must be the name.
must be those Cam guys.
Well, I don't know. Thomas might have something to say about that.
Yeah, right. For
He's
real.
like, no, call me Cameron Thomas. Don't call me Cam.
Yeah. I sincerely hate this team, Ash. I sincerely hate this team, especially the coach.
I remember Ash from the last Losers Lounge. He made the last Losers Lounge.
He not feeling this basketball team right here. Ah, here we go. Now, Ash again said, I no longer have respect for the Knicks fan base. They're classless for real. What did the Knicks do? What did the Knicks fan base do wrong? Show up at Barclays and take over? Come on, Ash. Don't be
Uh,
sour.
it might. I'm gonna shoot him a little bit of bail. I had to filter through the comments in the Nets Bleacher Report chat because we was in there. We was in there like it was the Barclays Center. I ain't going front. I ain't going front, yo. We was in there, so that might it might have not just been the Barclays Center.
Maybe that's it. Maybe
We
that's
was
it.
in the chat heavy too.
So we taking over the Barclays and we taking over their chat. Yeah, yeah. That's that's hilarious. That's definitely hilarious right there. Jay Clear said, "Was the NBA Finals tonight?" Knicks fans certainly think so. Did he talk about the chat? Did he talk about the Barclays?
Again, I mean, it could have been a combination of both because McCall didn't like that either. You know what I mean? We was making more noise. We showed up, man. I mean, your fans gotta show up.
Right.
To me, I love this because you know what I mean. Brooklyn, you shouldn't even be feeling no kind of way because you know what I mean. As many Knicks fans as in the city, it's a hop, skip, and a jump to just cross the borough. I know there's a lot of them already in the borough. You know what I mean. But we got this in Washington. You know what I mean. We got this in Orlando. We got
Charlotte.
Charlotte. We out here.
Right.
So don't feel bad if we in other states. We know we showing up at home.
So this is Mikal Bridges on the Knicks fans at the Barclays Center. Check it out.
And you're reasonably new to this rivalry, but I mean, when you hear a crowd like that, it's your building, and you have to hear "Let's go Knicks" and all of that. Just how would you describe that? Is that frustrating? Is it galling? I don't want to put words. How would you describe that?
I mean, I feel like any person in here is not fun when you feel like you're at a away game at home. So that's for probably any person sitting in here, any person alive. So
That's beautiful to hear. That is just beautiful to hear. You know what I'm saying? Michael says it's 80-20 Knicks crowd at Barclays. Not good. That is just beautiful to hear.
I think the cheers when he missed that free throw.
Crazy. I think every time we do a Brooklyn Nets losers lounge, we need to play this every time.
And you're reasonably new to this rivalry, but I mean, when you hear a crowd like that, it's your building, and you have to hear "Let's go Knicks" and all of that. Just how would you describe that? Is that frustrating? Is it galling? I don't want to put words. How would you describe that?
I mean, I feel like any person in here is not fun when you feel like you're at a away game at home. So that's for probably any person sitting in here, any person alive. So
yeah, I think we need to play that.
Wait, we might have to cue that up for Charlotte and
Charlotte,
you know what I mean? All of them. You know what I mean? All the teams we show up for.
Yeah, for real. I think we might have to. You know what I'm saying? And how I wonder how the Nets feel about it as an organization. I mean, I know they know that they're never going to be the team in New York, right? But I mean, is it like that with the Clippers in LA? I think in LA, I think it's a little bit more synergy, though. I think it's more like I'm a Clippers fan, but I support the Lakers. I'm a Lakers fan, but I support the Clippers too. I think it's a little bit more like that. Where here is not. It's like, nah, you know, because they both, you know, I don't know.
I think it's very similar in the sense of big brother, little brother. I think it's very similar. I think the one thing I think it's worse for the Clippers and Lakers because the Lakers have
so many
championships.
Right.
And that's the thing that, you know what I mean? It's like Clay doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
but I think with the crowd, I just don't feel they're as you know, with the fans, I don't think it's as much.
Well, also it's very similar to the New York where they get that celebrity crowd. A lot of them are there to watch the game, not necessarily, you know what I mean? Like you have celebrities at Clippers games, whether it's they playing against the Lakers or not, and then obviously you have celebrities at the Laker game, no matter who they're playing as well. So I feel like that dynamic kind of makes it even out, and then you got true Clipper fans that hate the Lakers and vice versa.
The Clippers were, well, they wasn't always in LA, but they've been there because I forgot they were someplace else a super long time ago before I even started watching basketball, I think.
I'm not sure. I know Lakers were Minneapolis, right?
Minneapolis. Right.
How many of them championships came from Minneapolis?
So the Clippers were the Buffalo Braves. And then in 1970, the Clippers were founded in 1970 as the Buffalo Braves.
Like our Buffalo?
Our Buffalo, yeah. Yep.
Oh wow.
They were one of 3 franchises that joined the NBA as an expansion team And the 1970-71 season, the Braves moved to San Diego, California. After the 77-78 season, it became known as the San Diego Clippers. And then at some point, they moved to LA. So, yeah, from 70 to 78, they were in the Eastern Conference as the Buffalo Braves.
Yeah, there's your fun fact of the day, guys.
Yep. And then 78 and 70. And then when did they move to LA? Oh, okay. In 84, they moved to LA. 84, 85, they became the Los Angeles Clippers. Yeah. So they used to be the Buffalo Braves. So New York used to have the New York Knicks, the Syracuse Nets. Syracuse Nets or Nats? I think it's Nets, right? And the Buffalo Braves.
I thought it was Nats for some reason.
Maybe it was the Nats. Yeah, Syracuse. I'm not sure. No, the Nats. Syracuse Nats. NBA. Yeah, it was the Syracuse Nats. I guess they were the Nationals or something like that. Syracuse Nationals. 54, 55. So you had Syracuse, New York, Syracuse, and Buffalo had teams at some point. And then you got Brooklyn. Yeah, well, anyway, the Knicks take over and, like usual, dominate. I mean, it might have been more tonight. And think about this. When they get really, really bad, if they get really, really bad, and the Knicks are really, really good, now that the NOTS started this whole thing, we're really going to dominate the Barclays Center. And they are going to allow Knicks fans to buy tickets because they want the money. Not even like they're going to be like, no, only sell the Nets fans. No. Nah, they are going to allow Knicks fans to buy tickets so they can sell out this game. I had Brooklyn Nets people calling me to say, do you want to do something to, and they knew that it was, I do a Knicks podcast. I was a Knicks fan. Do you want to get some people here for the Knicks versus Nets? You know what I'm saying? Because they're trying to get people to fill the stadium.
I don't know. That sounds like a lineup, Sim. I know how they be doing in Brooklyn.
That's how it is, Well, no. Leo said, Randall never had that much emotion when KD and Kai used to bust the Knicks' asses. I hate them. Actually, Randall always played well against KD. I know what he's talking about.
Just couldn't get the win. Now we got 4 in a row.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't get the win, but he always played well against KD. Always played well. And then I think this is the last one for the night. He said, Rev said, I'm starting to miss the superstars. There was drama, sure, but I missed championship expectations. So what would you have? Would you rather have stars with drama or, I mean, I guess I would rather have stars, a championship expectations with drama than no expectations at all.
You asked the question earlier. You think they would do it again? You damn right they would. Drama and all. They just try to clean up the drama a little bit. You know what I mean? They try to take a different stance on certain subjects.
Yeah. Nah, no doubt about that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You do it 100%. I agree. I'd rather have championship expectations than
That might be one of the realest comments in the whole chat. Say, I miss the superstars.
I mean, and listen, they had the Paul Pierce and KD and them guys. Then they didn't have nobody, and then they had well, they built a little something, and then they got the K Reed and KD, K Reed, KD and Kyrie. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
You know what I mean? Nah, I agree with him though. I would much rather I'd much rather have stars with championship expectations. No doubt about it. No doubt about that. Well, the Knicks, what I love about this whole thing is that through all of that with KD and Paul Pierce and all of them, oh yeah, the Brooklyn Nets, they're gonna take over New York. They're gonna become the team in New York. And then with Kyrie and KD, yeah, they're gonna become the team in New York. Never happened. I'm saying, and I just love the fact that it never happened. It burnt to the ground. I'm saying, and now the Knicks are who the Knicks are. You know what I mean?
Looking good out there.
You know what I mean? Yeah, the Public Enemy said Knicks fans take over Miami, Charlotte, Atlanta, Washington, Orlando. I don't know about Philly. I don't know if we take over Philly yet.
But we're gonna make it our goal.
If they become sorry and we're good, you know what I'm saying? But they got strong fans. Like all these other cities, their fans is a little bit suspect. But Philly got dedicated fans though.
And they're one of the few cities where their fans are very similar to us.
Yeah, exactly. So they're not just gonna let us, you know what I mean? I remember one time I tried to buy some tickets in DC and the guy was like, nah, we can't let you because I guess one time the Wizards were playing Philly and Philly like a fan group brought like 100 people and bought a whole section with like 100 people and they were drowning out the Washington fans. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, so they don't want us doing that. Now I don't think they care. I'm saying because like they got packages now, like they got crazy stuff going on. Like I could pay $50 a month and choose like a certain number of games to go to per month and go to those games with the Wizards. They got packages like $25 and you're getting like 2 tickets, a hot dog and a drink and chips or something like that. Like they need people out that joint.
They got a fun pass.
For real. You know what I mean? On DR said, imagine if we took over Boston. That would be real tough to do. I ain't gonna lie. That's
and dangerous.
And dangerous. Right? Yeah, for real. That's a tough one. You know what I'm saying? That's a tough one to take over because they got super dedicated fans. Old head said you might have to fight in Philly for real. Yeah. You might have to fight in Philly. Like in DC, after the games, Knicks fans are all over outside the Capital One Arena. Outside yelling, screaming, you know what I'm saying? Like they're New York Knicks, you know what I'm saying? Like all over. Taking over downtown DC. That's not happening in Philly. I don't care.
Oh.
That's not happening in Philly or Boston.
It's gonna be some shots ringing out.
It's not happening. DC, they could care less. But yeah, they ain't happening in Boston or Philly. I can guarantee that. You know what I'm saying? Orlando, you probably can get away with it in Orlando. Maybe Miami, Charlotte, probably Atlanta. You can get away with it. You know what I'm saying? On DR said, I'll be going to my first Knicks game in Charlotte. My first ever Knicks game in Charlotte. How's the environment there? I've never been to a game in Charlotte. Uncle Fulio's been. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So with him.
Reach out to him, yep.
Yep. You know what I mean? So definitely reach out to him. He might be going. He moved from Charlotte, but he's still not that far away.
Yeah, I don't think we could take over Boston. I'm thinking about. I'm like, I don't even know. Like New York is leave New York and move everywhere. I don't think we leave New
Not that
York and move to Boston.
Not that much.
He like
I
you have to have gotten a great job offer.
word. It's like, nah, I'm not going to Boston. I mean, New York is DC, Atlanta, Charlotte, other places in North Carolina, Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? All these places down the East Coast, but I ain't messing with Boston.
I need a sign-on bonus. I need incentives.
You ain't messing with Boston like that. You know, it's not as friendly there. You know, it ain't as friendly in Boston. It's cool. It's a cool city. I've been there once or twice.
Yeah, they got a nice aquarium.
Yeah, but I think I'm gonna get out of here, man. I'm gonna go eat these tacos.
No doubt, no doubt.
Cause I'm hungry. I'm starving. You know, go eat these tacos and oh, you know what I was watching?
What's that?
On Netflix, Down with the King. Freddie Gibbs is starring in it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They're doing it's a movie. It's an actual movie, but they're almost doing it like it's a documentary type style, documentary style, or reality style, but it's actually a movie. So they're doing it reality style, but it's a movie. Basically, he's a rapper, Money Merc. That's his rap name, Money Merc. You know what I'm saying? And he's like out on he's struggling with his like finding creativity or something like that. And so he goes out, he goes to like Maine or some crazy Massachusetts, I don't know, someplace like that, and goes out in the in some like little farming town. You know, he's out there chasing pigs around, cutting open cows, you know what I'm saying, chopping wood, doing all kinds of stuff while he's trying to get some creativity for his album. I mean, it's definitely good, and Freddie Gibbs is doing I only watched half of it because I started watching like 2 a.m. last night and I had to be up early. So I was like, let me finish this tomorrow. But it was good. Freddie Gibbs was doing a good job.
He did a good job in whatever series. I don't know if it was BMF or one of the Powers. He was in one of them series. He did a good job in.
You know, when I first saw it, I thought that they were actually doing a reality thing on him.
Okay.
So when I was watching it, and I heard him say Money Merc or whatever his rap name in it, and I was like, is he changing his name? You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't catching on because that's the style of it. You know, when I was, and then what made me look at it is like his manager came up there to the farm, right? And his manager started because he had put some stuff out saying like, I might just quit this rap game, boom, 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 right? And and his manager came up there and was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? You lucky, like you gotta, you supposed to talk to me first. And this and that. He's like, what you mean? And he grabbed his manager by the neck. You know what I'm saying? And started, his manager's like, yo, I'm not scared of you, like little dude. But when I'm looking at his manager, I was like, I seen this dude in a movie before. And then this white girl I was like, I seen her in a movie before too. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, let me check and see. I was like, oh, all right. I thought that joke was really about him though. You know what I'm saying? Because basically he's playing himself in the movie. But it's pretty good. Down with the King, that's what it's called. Down with the King.
No doubt. And hey, he corrected me. It was the Wu-Tang series.
Oh, the Wu-Tang series. Okay, yeah. Now, but he's doing a good job in this. It's on Netflix. Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, I heard somebody talking about it recently, and gave it good reviews. But I caught the tail end of it, so I didn't know the name of it. So I'll definitely check that out. Down with the Queen, down with the King. I'm about to watch True Detective, whatever kind of spinoff they did on that with HBO or on HBO. So I'll tell you how that is.
No doubt. Well, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and on who was it? The coolest. Somebody said if I eat them tacos, I'm not.
You not sleeping today?
You're probably right. You know what I'm saying? It's like 2:00 in the morning. I'm hungry. I'm starving out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm hungry, so I'm about to smack these tacos. My mother made them. About to smack them. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your time. Glad you enjoyed the show. We're about to get up out of here. Maybe tomorrow now we can get a stupid. It's been like forever. We can
No
talk
doubt.
about anything. I don't care what we talk about. We can
No
talk
doubt.
about Down with the King if you want to.
I don't know if I
Yeah,
catch up on it yet,
yeah.
but we'll figure out something.
Yeah.
Craig, I know you're gonna catch the rewind. You thought we wasn't gonna make it, but we made it, man.
What,
So-
yeah. Where's Greg at?
I think he went to sleep. He went to sleep. He heard technical difficulties. He was like, they ain't doing the show. Peace,
All right,
yo.
folks, we out. Peace.
Losing is what got us here. None of us feel good about it. This is, where we are. You are what your record is. You are what has happened, recently. But things can change quickly. Once we